Grainy videotapes have been circulating around Ireland in the past few years. These tapes are being brought home by the growing numbers of Irish people travelling to Goiás, central Brazil, in search of healing. Here, a Brazilian healer is performing surgeries without anaesthetic and seemingly without pain. He is known as João de Deus. His fame has spread through the internet over the past few years, and now hundreds, sometimes thousands of people from all around the world come to see him every week. In March of 2003, the McEntee family and friends gathered as the sisters, Joan and Grania, prepared to set off for South America.
Going to Brazil, to John something, I can't say it in Brazilian, but he's a healer. And I saw him on TV, and he made people better, and I said, he's about the only person I believe in. Try him out.
A woman in white appeared to João when he was just a boy of 11. He was told that he had a mission to heal. He went into a trance and awoke hours later in a healing centre where he had been performing surgeries unbeknownst to himself. This was the beginning of his life's journey.
So, he has to fix my legs, make them walk.
Joan worked as a solicitor in Dublin before being diagnosed with MS. Her sister Grania is a sometime stand-up comedian.
I think the illness has gotten to the stage now where it's the last roll of the dice for Joan, basically. So she's ready for it, and I'm ready to take her out there. So it's not a holiday. We have a lot of hard work to do.
There's different types of MS, but this is the progressive. It just gets worse.
It does change your personality, it changes your mental capacity, it changes your physical capacity, it changes everything about your persona. It changes the way you relate to people, and it changes the way you relate to the world, and the way the world relates to you.
I'm not very good at reading because my hands shake, so I can't hold something, and I can't write. I used to run a lot. Like there was a half marathon in Cavan, I did it, and now I can't even get as far as the car.
We got married in '91. Joan set up her law practice that same year. It wasn't really until about 1997 that the MS came back with all its ferocity, and I hope they have a safe trip. I hope everything goes smoothly, and I hope that she comes back to us, the Joan we knew back in the early 90s.
João says he was guided by spirits to set up his house of healing in Abania. The Casa Dominacio, as it is known, has been at this location for over 25 years. People going to visit the Casa are encouraged to wear white because the healer says it helps him see the energy field around them. There is no direct charge for the healing work, although donations are accepted. Dr. Jeffrey Rediger came to the Casa in Abania to investigate the healings he had been hearing about for some time at Harvard Medical School.
Our goal has been to collect the lab reports and the radiological exams, photos of people who report having been physically healed. and to see if the lab reports and the x-rays and the CT scans from before the illness and after the illness is healed, in their estimation, if the lab reports can document that.
A lot of people come here just to see what's happened here. A lot of people come here because they are very, very sick. Like me, when I arrive here, I come because I want something, to walk again.
There was an atmosphere of love. There was an atmosphere of heart, compassion.
Michael Corrie is a consultant psychiatrist with an interest in alternative approaches to healing. He has worked in Africa and South America and visited various healers on his travels.
Every time I think about Vajani, that's the feeling I get. Open hearts. We're all in this together. Anything is possible. Anything is possible. A miracle could happen here.
People are claiming several things. Some people are saying that there's been a partial remission of physical symptoms, whether it's cancer or arthritis or depression or whatever. And other people are reporting a complete cure of some of these illnesses. We just want to see if this is true. If it is true, then it's a worldview destroyer for me, because it means that there are things happening that I don't know how to explain. Other people are saying that what's happening for them is really the beginning of a healing journey that is as much spiritual or more spiritual than something that's merely physical.
People queue up to talk to the blue-coated helpers who translate questions and requests for João into Portuguese.
What's your intention, John?
To walk, of course.
Me, just overall healing.
Eu sou
That's for her, and that's one for you.
Obrigada. Okay, round it up. I'll have to get the beans later.
Ultan O'Mara from Fermoy was a computer engineer before a depression changed the course of his life.
I spent a long time here in a very desperate situation. I wouldn't say that anything definite happened for me here that I could pinpoint, or that I could feel, or that I could sense in terms of healing, in terms of change. I would say for me, it just kept me going. The sense of some kind of hope, some sense that there was something supernatural, something beyond any normal way of healing.
It's great to be here. It's a great, beautiful journey getting here, hassle-free. Ever since we decided to come, beautiful things have happened, you know.
You understand?
And
it's all about heart opening, trusting, and faith. João Teixeira has done this mission for 43 years. What a mission. I don't know anybody on this planet that does what João does. He dedicates his time to humanity without asking for anything in return.
Longer-term residents of the Casa sit in meditation rooms called the corrente. Translated from the Portuguese, corrente means chain or current. The idea is that this collective meditation creates a chain of energy that helps the medium João to go into a deep trance. João says he is unconscious then and able to embody spirits from another plane of existence.
João believes, in part, as I understand it, that by healing the soul, that sometimes the body can be healed.
He has to be coming from the place that every human being is a spiritual being having a human experience. So the role of spirit is just so apparent there.
Free soup is prepared by volunteers and served at the Casa every day. It is blessed by João, and people are encouraged to eat it as part of their healing routine.
Arthur was interpreting for us. Arthur came out and he said that he wanted Joan to have 3 crystal baths, that the spirits were working on her already, which is great news, and that she may feel pain, but not to worry.
Breda Walsh from Carrick-on-Shore had been devout as a child, but gave up on the Catholic Church in her teens.
They've run out of bread. Can they not do now a miracle?
She went to Brazil with her daughter Elsie, out of a sense of curiosity.
Being brought up in, things like ghosts, banshees, leprechauns, moving statues, knock, Lourdes, whatever. You just think, well, is there something or isn't there something, or what's going on? Are people seeing things? Are they not seeing things? Is there a God? Is there anything other than this plane that we live on? Any Irish person that you talk to, well, how much does it cost, or how much does he charge? It's like, he doesn't charge anything. He doesn't accept money. And so it was just curiosity and interest that made me want to go to Brazil.
Pascal Sheridan from Navan came to the Casa seeking help with his 9th brain tumour in 16 years.
I came here to ask him to remove it, the tumour, ask God to remove it. In 2001 I was paralysed. Mr. Phillips was the neurosurgeon, and he came in and told me that there was practically good night and God bless and safe home from the rail show. He says we'd done the biopsy and we couldn't get out there. It was too vascular or too bloody, or however you want to call it. I haven't got the right medical words, but basically told me that 90 days or 3 months and I'd be moving on to the next stage. A lot of people were writing down things, what their complaints were and what they were here for, and I didn't write anything down. I didn't get anything Josie to just say anything for me. I stood in front of him and he recommended herbs the first day and sent me into the current room. But then when I got into the place, someone's telling me I'm not to ask for what I want, ask for what I need. So I've changed the focus now, because what I want is a kind of a satisfy the ego and it's a personal want because I want to survive and all that kind of stuff. What I need for my soul is different need, and I have to surrender to the soul, because that's the true journey.
Then I began meditating myself, and I remember seeing in my mind's eye some people with white light around them. It was very intense, felt all this love, and had this experience where I knew that behind all the appearances, things are okay, that it really is all love, things are all really connected, and I knew that. And that happened within a matter of about 5 minutes, and then the whole thing was over.
I thought it was making me confirmation again, going up in front of the bishop. I felt so full of grace.
Well, as I said, when I asked him the first time, do I need to come back?
Yeah, it was amazing. In the current room, I mean, it was the same. I just got the same. The night my mother died, and myself and Liz were doing Reiki on my mother all night for about 8 hours, and that's the way it felt. Just that kind of swoony energy. It's amazing. I'll see.
But I'm still like, what about the other 3?
I'm not going to say anything. I'm still in shock.
I was just meditating praying to Mary. And the smell of roses was just permeating the whole air for the hour. It was fabulous.
Joan went for up to 3 crystal baths a day. The baths are a series of crystals with light and electricity running through them. People report feeling a subtle energy around them as they lie under the electrified crystals.
You have to be open to it. But I mean, it's hard for Joan just to open up to everything. And she's so ill, really, you know. Slowly but surely.
I think what's so special about abania is that it's been there now. This energy, this portal of healing has been there for quite some time, in the same way that same portal is there in Lourdes. There's a feel, there's an energy. I think in abania it's more organised, it's more focused, it's smaller, it's tighter, it's in one place, it's in a casa. I keep coming back to this whole thing of compassion, this whole thing of love. It's a presence, it's in the village.
After 3 years in Abidjania, Ultan and his Brazilian girlfriend Alessandra had baby Camilla. As well as running the local juice bar, Ultan volunteers at the Casa.
I'd just like to remind everybody, especially those who are new to the work, that our prayers and our participation is very important to the work. It's an integral part. This work isn't just about one man doing all the work. This is about each one of us as a medium, and every one of us is a medium. Each one of us...
We need some way to bring us together in unison, in the hall. So we join and we say words, we say a prayer together. What's important is the heart that goes into the prayer, and what's important also is the fact that it brings us together, these words that we all know. And so it's sort of this energy that's all spread out all over the place, everyone off in their own little words, suddenly sort of starts to gel and become one. And that's very powerful. And so the prayer is very powerful.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
Of the surgeries he does are what he calls invisible surgeries, where spirits will perform invisible surgeries on the people in the room. That's such a different understanding of reality from the way I was raised that I don't completely know what to do with that yet.
There were people lying on beds and I said, oh Jesus, I'm going to have to lie in a bed. So had to put my hand on my heart if you wanted an invisible one, I did.
Michael Morrison has the congenital disease cystic fibrosis. He went to Abidjania seeking an alternative to the conventional medical view that his condition would get progressively worse.
I put my hand on my heart and then said a prayer for my lungs and my pancreas, because they're the 2 areas that mainly affected with cystic fibrosis. And I just walked and said, looked, concentrating the lungs, seeing them breathing in and out, and then just said a prayer for that. And then did the same again with the pancreas, but at the same time holding my hand on my heart.
We were sitting down and Martin said to put your hand on your heart if you weren't sure what you wanted healed. But I was going to give my liver a whack of good energy for a change. About time. So I put my hand on my liver, and as soon as I put my hand there, But my liver was sort of tickling anyway, but when I put my hand there, my fingers were electrified because it was just shooting right up my arm for a good at least 10 minutes.
A criança Senhor, que vossa vontade se estenda sobre todos os filhos da oferta. Louvado seja nosso Senhor Jesus Cristo. Em nome de Deus, os filhos da oferta.
I did. So I thought, that's it, I'm leaving now. And it was done. Little Mr. Men came inside me and I can feel the stitches.
You think an invisible operation, you kind of a bit, okay, invisible operation, woo. But you kind of walked out of the room and suddenly you didn't know why your legs felt like jelly. You have to hold up against the wall just to support yourself. And then I slept for 24 hours. I would never have done that before in my life. Nearly comatose state.
I tell you, it's like I've 20/20 vision now.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's amazing.
This eye there is no difference.
Fine. Well, if you go back and examine it, I wanted to know about that.
Yeah.
It's like there's something happening, but it's slow, isn't it? But anyway.
Well, how long did it take you to get here? How many years?
Oh, will you stop? If you're going to say it takes that long, then...
No, I'm not. I'm not going to say that at all. I'm just asking how long.
Not that long, really, about a year.
How long have you had MS?
89.
So, in 2 weeks, you've felt something that you haven't felt in quite a while.
Sure enough, yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying that it's going to take you 15 years to heal, but just to keep it in perspective, that things move. It might happen instantaneously.
Yeah.
That's not unheard of. But because this is about the healing of your spiritual relationship, oftentimes the physical body heals slower so that you have time to adjust.
Who was holding a book here the other night?
Me. Steady. Good, I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Very steady.
Yeah, and I can't, reading at home makes me dizzy because my hands move so much.
Right.
But
How long has it been since you've been able to hold a book and read?
I'd say about 4 or 5 years.
Great.
Yep.
So are you afraid, Joan, that if you get too excited about what is happening,
Yes.
that it won't be real?
Yeah.
Do you suppose you could give yourself a break and just
I
kind of-
wonder. I don't know if I...
You look like you want to. You really look
Yeah,
like
come on.
Dreams show that you have the power to make a world as you would have it be. And that because you want it, you see it. Remember all the dreams I had about you walking?
Yeah, can't wait.
The first 6 weeks, there was a lot of improvements, physical improvements. Her mood was very upbeat. There was great work being done from the point of view of it was all very new, and we were down in the Casa every day, very early, the current rooms, doing a lot of work. And then her husband came as a surprise, which was wonderful. Everybody in Posada Catronese was in tears, including myself, trying to hold the camera. She did great work for 2 or 3 weeks when Sean was here. He was here for about 5 weeks. Walking to the Casa from the top of the hill. She was very happy and she was coming back to her old self. She was very sociable, she was very happy to be here, and she had her daughter and her husband with her.
From the first day I went down to the Casa with Joan. We were standing in line. I put my hand on her head in preparation to walk in through the doors, and was basically stuck to the floor with energy.
When the first day he arrived down at the Casa, I saw him just rigid. I couldn't physically see the energy, but I could see his reaction in his body, and he had his hands over Joan's head in the wheelchair in the main hall of the Casa before the morning session, and he was just shooting energy into her.
I felt energy come down into me from him. It was an electric shock, and I thought, what's going on? It kind of like shook me.
I had my hand on her head and I actually couldn't move my hand off her head. It was like being hit by a bolt of lightning. And I'm not a healer. I had no experience of healing, meditation, any techniques of healing.
For the time that Sean was here, he sat in current a couple of times, but it was so hard for him. He just wasn't able to cope with it because they were channeling a lot of energy through him, and he kept saying he didn't want it, and he didn't know why he was doing that. She had one operation when Sean was here. She's had 4 altogether. And then when Sean left, she just lost motivation, and that was 2 months ago.
While most of the surgeries performed are described as invisible by the people at the Casa, some visitors opt for physical operation. João performs these surgeries without anaesthetic, and yet most people report that they feel no pain.
The explanations I still don't fully comprehend. But I was watching a man who was making incisions with an ordinary knife, like a routine kitchen knife, unsterilized.
I felt when he cut, but nothing painful. Some burning, but nothing like excruciating or horrible. But I felt because I wanted to feel. But what I felt the most was when he squeezed out something, I felt really something black coming out of my heart, like a thorn. Like something that every step of my life was slowing me down, like a thorn.
How is this taking place without infection? How is this taking place without blood loss? And how are people not screaming their heads off when he inserts the needle, doing the stitching and making the incisions?
Many say that this is anesthesia. Put it in your mouth, and what does it taste like? Agua.
Mark came from California, not because of any illness, but looking for proof of the existence of God.
I felt cold steel going up, and then I felt him just shove it with all his strength. Jeez. And I felt excruciating pain. I felt just so calm. And even when I had the thought, he's in your brain, which is what my thought was, and I saw yellow, bright yellow, and I got this bitter taste in my mouth as I had the thought, he's in your brain.
Até aqui está esse tinta, mas é perigoso da hemorragia interna.
He's gone.
Well, no, it did not look like it went directly up. Your head was tilted back.
Yeah.
He did go in, and then it looks like he did maybe change the angle. Let's look at it again. But also there's an inch there that it's not in the nose. Through that. Boy, that is long, isn't it?
It's long. That is, well, thank you.
Okay, that's the back of the sinus. Okay, that's how much space I have. That's about what it looks like in Netter's anatomy. Do you want to go to the internet this afternoon and I'll pull up a sagittal view of the skull, and we can look at that.
You're the doctor, but look at the curve you have to do.
Yeah,
For me,
you
the
really
main
have
reason
to do.
I came was to prove to myself there was a God. Either there is or there isn't.
So what do you think?
Yeah, there is.
Why?
Because I survived that.
Right.
Plus the other operations that I've seen here.
Can I ask what you came here for?
¿Para qué usted viene a la casa?
Yo he venido aquí a la casa para una ayuda espiritual.
I'm here for help, spiritual help.
What do you feel right now as the entity works on you?
¿Cómo se sientes ahora que está?
Muy bien.
You don't feel
It's
anything?
okay. No problem.
No problem.
Can you feel when I touch your hand?
No siento ningún
¿Siente
problema.
alguna cosa cuando la entidad trabaja?
No.
Only it same touch, very soft and no.
Para ele não tem nada.
For him it's nothing.
Mas
For him it's
eu
nothing.
fiz foi tirar, foi raízes.
He's removing
E
everything
acabou.
from inside.
Okay.
Nothing more come back again.
Okay. I have to change the way I think about the world.
It baffled me as to how people actually were not getting infection. Because having worked in the third world myself, if I had done anything like that without proper sterile conditions, there would be a bacterial infection.
Some people who I spoke with were able to remember the events going around them completely. And so some people seem to enter a sort of altered state during these surgeries. Some people do not. When I was assisting in one of the surgeries, he cut this woman's cornea. She didn't flinch. She didn't try to pull away from him. And she was able to answer his questions and speak with him while he was performing the surgery. She did report some mild pain at the end, but then he placed his hand over her eye and the pain was gone. I can't explain that. I heard some people use the term spiritual anesthesia. I have no way to understand
in the
that.
interior part of the eye as well. Although he's working on the surface, he's going deep into the interior. Are you experiencing any pain, or did you experience any pain? No pain.
He was explaining to me that he was opening up something within her heart.
As Jeffrey Rediger walked from the Casa after witnessing surgeries, he talked about understanding the phenomena in his head, but not accepting it in his heart. Then a stain appeared on his shirt. Jeffrey was experiencing what the locals call an invisible physical surgery. People claim that this spontaneous appearance of cuts happens quite often outside of the Casa.
I don't know. I have no idea what that is. You think so? Really?
Because you haven't got a spot there.
Well, maybe I did have an invisible surgery there in that room the other day. I don't know.
Yes.
Now you know how it feels.
Yeah. I mean, I feel a little bit afraid. I mean, I don't know how to understand this. I feel a little bit afraid.
So you don't feel like you've been violated? You feel in control?
No, I don't feel like I was violated at all. No, I don't know. No, I do not feel in control. I think that's why I'm afraid, probably. It's not clotting off as fast as you'd expect. Yeah, thanks. I don't have a bleeding disorder. I had spent the week seeing people and experiences that were outside the realm of my normal experience. We had some research interviews and heard some stuff that just kind of knocked me for a loop, frankly. And then somebody noticed blood on my shirt, so.
Heart surgery is a metaphor for opening yourself up.
Right. I kind of been told that's what I need to do.
Wow, many of us.
So.
Wow. But not just,
it's a tiny hole.
It is a very tiny hole. Yeah, it just won't stop bleeding. I mean.
Jeffrey bled for over an hour, despite all attempts to stem the flow of blood.
You see, everything I relate to the fact that I still have to get up and push that. So it's not really, I prefer if I was moving properly all by myself.
No, top, of course.
There are improvements. It's just a matter of
That can go out, I'd say.
putting them all together.
Now, they're perfect.
I had like big time shake like that. I could no man that. It's like shh. So that's improved bladder and what else? Even my head shook. So that's improved.
She was feeling a lot of benefits. She looked great. Her mood was fantastic. She was very happy to be here, you know. It just somehow changed. You know, I guess it's hard when you come the whole way from Ireland and you can't walk. I guess it is hard to keep the faith going, and 5 months is a long time.
I've had it. That's about it. I've had enough. I mean, it's great, all this holy praying and everything, but I've had enough. That's it.
I guess she needed to go home to take it all in, to see, what the next move to make is.
Well, you see, I'd say I'm coming back to get totally and absolutely and utterly fixed.
To be able to work with my sister, I learned a lot about having to let go and her healing having to take its own course. It's up to her. Only she alone can do it, but she can't do it alone. And it was hard for me to let go of that passion that I had for wanting her to walk. She has to want herself to walk. So there was a lot of realizations for me here and a lot of learning, and now I feel like this is my time.
Gráinne runs a Sunday night comedy show and says that she heals with laughter. She calls herself Gráinne de Deas and collects money for the soup kitchen.
Yeah, so that's why I'm out here. Actually, I just was in the airport saying goodbye to somebody and I just ended up out here, you know. I was so trashed, I took a wrong turn going to the Jacks and ended up on a plane to Brazil. Yeah, and I sobered up in the curtain room. God, it was a nightmare. I've had a lot of work done on my liver, which was pretty much in very bad shape before I arrived, but I'm very good at covering things like that up, and I didn't want anybody to know what shape I was in before I came. And I also didn't want my sister especially to know, because for me not to be able to help her would have been a disaster. But the entities helped me come here. I was feeling very sick before I came.
Those great beings from the Casa,
I've had enormous benefits from being here. I feel like I've opened up a lot more. I'm more honest, more truthful, and happier within myself. I feel great. Physically, I feel really, really good, better than I have done for a lot of years. But I think not in taking alcohol. It's the longest I've ever gone without taking a drink. I don't feel the need to stuff my face full of alcohol and be off my head. I feel I'm at home here, that to me it's like a coming home.
Maria's story and the stories of her family have so many different facets, so many pieces.
When she born, they saw immediately she has spina bifida. The doctor there for orthopedics, he said she's not able to walk with
by herself.
By herself.
Says she would not be able to walk by herself?
Yes. No, never.
She also had curvature of the spine called scoliosis that also, in her situation, quite severe. I believe the scoliosis for her is around 35%.
I took Maria in Easter holidays and we came here. Met Joao when we passed. She did 2 operations to Maria. And the last week we have to go back in Athens. I asked if Maria can be healthy.
Okay.
And Joao told me Maria have to come here 4 times. She will be healthy. And she have a brace, body brace. She said no need. So we never use again.
Maria had an X-ray on her return to Athens, which showed a marked improvement in the spinal curvature.
So they were following her scoliosis every 6 months with X-rays. Okay. A 25-degree curvature. So this is in April of 2001. All right.
We did X-ray and they saw scoliosis was back to 25 degree.
This is after being here once.
Yes.
So it went from 35 to 25.
Yes.
There's films that substantiate that, and that's an improvement that is remarkable and fascinating to me.
Donde eles podem aprender muita coisa, muito para aprender. Eles têm.
The invisible world is real.
Que o mundo invisível é real.
Places like this, they may manifest aspects of the divine that are not as easy to find elsewhere, but the divine life is everywhere, and so this is just a special case of what's everywhere, I believe.
He wants that before you leave to your country, today you lie 30 minutes in the crystal bed.
Quero ter o nome dele, o endereço. Qual o hospital que ele atende?
I think it's important to not reify any particular place, but to come to the point of seeing what's real all around us wherever we are.
E dá o crachá dele, que de hoje em diante eu vou começar. Eu quero uma caneta que eu vou transmitir energia para o seu trabalho.
Next time when you come, bring a pen.
Okay.
A special pen so he can energize it for you.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Pode arrumar.
Tem que ser de ouro.
Okay.
It has to be a gold one.
A gold pen.
Gold or silver.
Okay.
We have an MRI in 20th of September. And Maria used to have a Carey syndrome because of the spina bifida. And we did the MRI and not Carey syndrome. It's clear.
There does seem to be something that the person who is healed brings to the healing experience or event. Something in their own preparation, something in their consciousness, something in what they are ready for in their lives allows what occurs to occur. So it's not that somebody walks up to a healer and is just healed. There's preparation on their own parts. There's a clearing in their own soul that seems to occur. And so the people who get healed, I suspect, they seem to be prepared for it.
I'm not as fearful about getting old, about dying, about losing people to death. I just feel that something has been opened up that's been there all along.
Did I get where I needed? Yeah. And I had what I needed the whole time. Change comes from within, from your heart. You know, that's where you have to open up.
Everyone has a different definition of miracle. I can't say you can define it by the book. Everyone's miracle could be different from the others. Well, my miracle was, I've gone from 5 nebulizers down to 3. It's still not a huge improvement, but at the same time, there's 40% reduction in nebulizers. That's quite a big, significant jump in a year. And then from that, I don't take inhalers anymore, from being 2 inhalers twice a day to not taking any. I don't need it. I don't feel I need it. I feel like I'm now responsible for myself rather than prior I would have abdicated control over.
Because I got rid of one in 2001, and I know it's possible, you know, I grew it. It grew here. So I have the secret, if I can find it. So I'm spending a bit of time looking for the key again.
Pascal had an MRI on his return to Ireland. The brain tumour had grown. He went for surgery in the US in the summer of 2004, and the tumour was removed successfully. He says he continues to connect to the spirit of the Casa as he meditates during his recovery.
One of the big things in life is finding meaning for your suffering. Believing that it has a purpose.
Hello.
That is a great help to people. I think this place is about, ultimately, healing and spiritual development, and they're not different. Because all our illnesses, be they psychological, physical, spiritual, they're all representing a lack of completeness in who we are. And resolving them is about becoming more whole and becoming more growing. And that means taking responsibility for ourselves, but also for the world we live in and everybody around us.
The group dynamics and the community that people harvest together, it's something that's, I think, part of the healing as well. Because people are there, some at the lowest ebb, some at the riding crest of a wave. There's not really a Mayfain culture. Like, we're here for everyone more so than just for one person.
For me, it was absolute proof that there is a spirit world and that people, entities, spirits in the spirit world are always helping us.
When Breda Walsh came home, an ophthalmic test confirmed that her sight had improved.
Thomas Merton described Western civilization as a great one-eyed giant. He said that a great one-eyed giant was born on the shores of the Western world over 1,000 years ago. And he talks about the brilliance and the strength of this one-eyed giant, the analytical logic, the ability to parse things into their parts with the help of the microscope and the telescope and the stethoscope. But he also said that the beauty and the tragedy of this one-eyed giant is that if it doesn't learn to open its other eye, that it will destroy itself. And the other eye, he said, is the eye of wisdom, of compassion, of spirituality, some sense of openness to what the spiritual traditions call the invisible world.
As a doctor, as a scientist, I don't understand fully what is going on in Abania. Something profound is going on there. This is not worked by human rules. This is working by rules that we can't fully comprehend. And that's the danger of science, that if it can't comprehend it, therefore it doesn't exist.
Certainly, medicine is full of anecdotal reports, but they are typically ignored because they're just not understood. They don't fit into the way physicians are taught to understand the world, and since they cannot be explained, they're ignored.
Just because it doesn't understand the cause doesn't mean that they should negate the effect. What's happening in Abania is that there are powers working, there's a consciousness working that is beyond our ability to comprehend it.
Joan, Sean and little Maud returned to Abania in June of 2004. It was too hot for Joan, and they've now settled on the coast, where they continue to seek healing.
No, I like it here. Glory. But then again,
I've never actually heard Joan say that before about any place, so she likes it. She's happy, I'm happy. I don't know, maybe there's a purpose to dragging this out longer. But like, you're very strong physically. You're stronger physically than you were. You're stronger mentally, I think, than you were. But there's still a long way to go, a lot of work. I actually believe this is only the start of the journey, after 2 years of a very interesting journey. I think it's only really starting. You're only starting to come to grips and to understand what's happening and how the healing works.
I think we're going the right way. But why does it take so long? It's taken longer than I expected. but sure. I suppose maybe I'm impatient, but the only thing I want is to fix my legs. And they're not fixed, but they will be.
Patience is endless, you know, it has to be at this stage. Once you connect with the energy, you know there's another dimension, so you know that the outcome of your patience, persistence, faith and love will bring you to a place you need to go.
They said to Joan, you can go, but you stay longer. So that was pretty straightforward. But then it just developed into meeting my João as opposed to João de Dias, which has been an extraordinary blessing. I mean, everything I've asked for at the Triangle has manifested in some form or another. When I asked for an equal, I didn't expect somebody as smashing as João, really, you know, to tolerate my foibles. God our Father, who is power and goodness, provide strength to he who is experiencing pain and anguish.
Well, Grania's still up there. She's had remarkable experiences in Abania, and she now works in the recovery room.
I thank God every single day for coming to Abania. By coming here, I have understood so much more than I would ever have, you know, here, my path led me here, and I mean, this is the beginning for me.
Hiya. All for you.